the second unit. Okay, we have completed the first unit, so today we'll be starting with the second unit, and the second unit is all about cloud security. Okay, so we will try to understand what it is and why we need it. So in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the cloud security vulnerabilities, ways to mitigate them, and also some of the cloud security threats. Fine. So let's start. Okay. Okay. Now, you see, just try to understand. As we know that companies today are rapidly using the cloud to revolutionize their digital transformations. Yes. There are several benefits of cloud computing that we have already seen in the previous classes, including, potential lower cost, yes, and faster time to market. Now, however, with these benefits that the cloud offers, data security is among the key concerns, holding back enterprises from adopting to cloud solutions. Okay, so. So according to a survey, 93% of companies are, extremely concerned about cloud computing security risks. Cloud infrastructure can be complex, and we all know that, when something is complex, it becomes more prone to attacks. Okay, so you can just conclude that complexity is the enemy of security. So while most cloud security experts agree that companies can benefit from the security solutions built into the cloud, organizations can also make some errors and expose critical data in the systems. Yes. Some of the most common cloud security risks include the unauthorized access through improper access control and misuse of the employee credentials. Okay, so according to 42% of respondents, okay, according to 42% of cloud users, recently, unauthorized access and insecure APIs, have been found to be the, they are being found to have the highest security vulnerability in the cloud. These two, unauthorized access and insecure API, and followed by them is the misconfigurations in the cloud, which is about 40%. So these are, some very serious matters. These are some vulnerabilities that needs to be looked upon, and some mitigation measures needs to be taken for the same. So accordingly, there are several preventive measures that companies can adopt to prevent cloud security vulnerabilities in their earlier stages. Okay, so this ranges from the simple cloud security solutions such as implementing multi-factor authentication to more complex security controls. Okay, so we will go through all the vulnerabilities one by one, and we will try to find ways to mitigate them. Okay, so talking about the first, which is misconfigured cloud storage. Okay, so the cloud storage is a rich source of stolen data for cyber criminals. Despite the high stakes, organizations continue to make the mistake of misconfiguration of cloud storage, which has cost many companies greatly. So cloud storage misconfiguration can quickly, escalate into a major cloud security breach for any organization and its customers. Okay, so these are, there are several types of cloud misconfigurations that enterprises may encounter, and some of them are, listed below as AWS security group misconfiguration. So here you see AWS security groups are basically responsible for providing security at the source, destination, port, and protocol access levels. Okay. A misconfiguration in the AWS security groups can allow an attacker to access the cloud-based servers and exfiltrate the data from there. Okay. Next, we have lack of access restrictions. So inadequate restrictions or safeguards in place to prevent unauthorized access to the cloud infrastructure can put the enterprise at risk. The insecure cloud storage can result in attackers gaining access to data stored in the cloud and downloading the confidential data, which can have devastating consequences for the organization. Okay. Next, we uh, try to find out a way to prevent the misconfigured cloud storage. Okay, so when it comes to cloud computing, it's always a good idea to double check cloud storage security configurations upon setting up a cloud server. So while this may seem obvious, it can easily get overlooked by other activities such as moving data into the cloud without paying attention to its safety. And then we can also use specialized tools to check cloud storage security configurations, and these tools can help us check the state of the security configurations on a schedule and identify vulnerabilities before it is too late. Okay, so we can therefore control who can create and misconfigure the cloud resources. Many cloud computing issues have come from people who want to move into the cloud without understanding actually how to secure their data. Yes, so that is all about the first preventing misconfigured cloud storage. Next, we come to API. So what is an API? You see, API is also known as the application user interfaces. These are intended to streamline cloud computing processes. However, if left insecure, APIs can open lines of communication for attackers to exploit cloud resources. So basically, you see, it acts as a service gateway to enable direct and indirect cloud software and infrastructure services to the cloud users. Okay, so a recent study revealed that 2/3 of the enterprises expose their APIs to the public so that external developers and business partners can access software platforms. Okay, um, and the same study also indicates that an organization typically handles an average of 363 APIs, and nearly 61% of companies reported their business strategies rely on API integration. So you know how much important API is. Okay, so with increasing dependency on APIs, attackers have found common ways to exploit insecure APIs for malicious activities. Okay, two such examples are inadequate authentication and insufficient authorization. So what are these? Well, inadequate authentication means uh, often you see developers create APIs without proper authentication controls. Okay, so as a result, these APIs are completely open to the internet and anyone can use them to access enterprise data and systems. And talking about insufficient authorization, too many developers do not think attackers will see the backend API calls and don't put appropriate authorization controls in place. So if this is not done, compromise of the backend data is, you know, likely to be compromised. Okay. Uh, we now come to ways of preventing insecure APIs. It's already mentioned here. Encouraging developers to design APIs with strong authentication, encryption, activity monitoring, and access control. Ultimately, APIs must be secure. Next, we have conduct penetration tests that replicate an external attack targeting your API endpoints and get a secure code review as well. Next, also consider using SSL TLS encryption for data in transit. So implementing multi-factor authentication with schemas such as one-time password, digital identities, etc. to ensure strong authentication control. So these are some ways to mitigate insecure APIs. Next, we come to loss of theft or intellectual property. Okay, so you know, intellectual property is undeniably one of the most valuable assets of an organization, and it is also vulnerable to security threats, especially if the data is stored online. So for many organizations, the intellectual property. The intellectual property is the data they own, and data loss means they lose their intellectual property. So let's take a look at some of the most common causes of data losses. One is data alteration. So what does this mean? When data is altered in a way and it cannot be restored to its previous state, it can result in loss of complete data integration, and it might be useless if modified. Next, we have data deletion. So an attacker could delete sensitive data from a cloud service, which poses a severe data security threat to an organization's operations. Next, we have loss of access. So attackers can hold information, okay, for say, for example, ransomware attack, or encrypt data with strong encryption keys until they execute their malicious activities. So these are the ways, these are some common causes of data loss. Therefore, it is essential to take preventive measures to safeguard our intellectual property and data in cloud environment. Now, again, we have some ways here. One is frequent backups, is one of the most effective ways. Next, considering using data loss prevention software to detect and prevent unauthorized movement of sensitive data. And then we also have a solution to prevent loss or theft of data is to encrypt your data and use backups. Okay. Okay. Next, we come to the fourth vulnerability, that is compliance violations and regulatory actions. The enterprises must have, some very efficient rules to determine who can access which data and what they can do with it. Okay. So while the cloud offers the benefit of ease of access, it also poses a security risk, as it can be difficult to keep track of who can access the information in the cloud. So under compliance or industry regulations, it is important for organizations to know the details about their data storage and access control. So moving your application to the public cloud certainly does not guarantee regularity compliance, and usually making compliance more difficult. Okay. Uh, so now we look at some of the ways to prevent compliance violations and regularity actions. Okay. First is the to thoroughly analyze the cloud service agreement and ask for cloud and data security policies from your service provider. Next is it's worth noting that the responsibilities for maintaining cloud security will depend on the cloud service level, whether it is ES or SaaS or PaaS. So this will influence the security and ownership responsibility for both your cloud provider and organization. Then we have making sure we implement a model for access management, where we can see the record of what systems are deployed and their cloud security levels. So here are some, okay, this has been copied by mistake. Yes. Then know all of your users' roles and access permissions. Have a clear identity and be able to track all assets across all geographic locations and control what data can be where. Then maintain strong configuration management with frequent and automated scanning of templates. Implement an incident response plan for violations related to cloud computing. Okay. Next, we come to loss of control over end user actions. Okay. See, uh, when companies are not aware of how their employees are using the cloud computing services, they could lose control of their data assets and ultimately become vulnerable to breaches and insider security threats. So insiders don't have to break through the virtual private networks, firewalls, or other security defenses to gain access to the internal data in the cloud of an enterprise. They can directly do so, okay, they can directly access the sensitive data in the cloud infrastructure. And therefore, this can lead to loss of intellectual property and other proprietary information which has, uh, clear implications for the organization. So dealing with, the loss of control over end user actions requires monitoring, remediation, investigation, and incident response, all of which should be integrated into the company's data security plan. Now we look at how to prevent loss of control over end user actions. Okay. So here are many ways. I will not read out everything. So first is providing training to your employees to teach them how to handle security vulnerabilities such as phishing, malware. Okay. Next is routinely audit the server. So there must be server auditing to identify data security vulnerabilities. Next is focus on approved hardened images that are scanned routinely for security risk and vulnerabilities. Ensure that privileged central servers and access security systems are limited to a minimum number of people, and that those employees have adequate training to, handle their administrative rights in the cloud server. Okay. Next, we have poor access management. So improper access management is the most common cloud computing security risk. In breaches involving web applications, stolen or lost credentials have been the most widely used tool by attackers for several years. So access management actually ensures that individuals can perform only the task that they need to perform. The process of verifying what an individual has access to is known as authorization. Okay. So in addition to standard access management issues plaguing organizations today, such as managing a distributed workforce and user password fatigue, there are several other cloud specific challenges that organizations face, okay, including inactive assigned users, multiple administrator accounts, improper user and service provisioning and deprovisioning. Um, then we have users bypassing enterprise access management controls. Furthermore, creation of roles and management of access privileges within the cloud infrastructure can also be found to be challenging for the enterprise. Okay. Then we have prevention measures for poor access management. First is to combat poor access management in cloud services. Enterprises need to develop a data governance framework for user accounts. Additionally, enterprises should use cloud native or third-party tools to regularly pull lists of roles, privileges, users, and groups from cloud service environments. Next is organizations should also ensure logging and event monitoring mechanisms are in place in cloud environment to detect unusual activity or unauthorized changes. Next, we have the last vulnerability, which is contractual breaches with customers or business partners. So contracts in cloud computing are somewhat tricky. It often restricts who is authorized to access the data, how it can be used and where, and how it can be stored. So when employees move restricted data into the cloud without authorization, the business contracts may be violated and legal action could ensue. For instance, say if your cloud service provider maintains the right to share all data uploaded to the cloud with third parties under their terms and conditions, they are actually breaching a confidentiality agreement with your company. Okay. So this could lead to leakage of data from your customers, employees, and other stakeholders that may have been uploaded to the cloud. Okay. So now we look to various preventives. Okay. See, the cloud service contract should include the rights to review, monitor, and audit reports. Okay. Next, we have this way any security risk can be identified at an early stage before it becomes an issue. Okay. Then we have companies should also ensure that they are not locked into a service contract, and switching vendors can be a smooth exercise. And the next is the service contract should be highlighted it should highlight the intellectual property risk, as cloud services may include the use of intellectual property or other software rights under a license agreement. So this is all about the various vulnerabilities. I have added 7 vulnerabilities along with their mitigation measures. Okay. Next, we look at the top threats to cloud computing. Okay, so here we have actually 10 threats. Okay, 10 biggest threats. So we'll look at them one by one. So see, talking about the threats to cloud computing, actually, see, it is very necessary, for the organizations to be aware of cyber threats. Okay, and according to the Cloud Security Alliance report, CSA, we have top threats to cloud computing, which are as follows. First is the data breaches. So data breach can be the main goal of an attack, through which information, sensitive information such as personal identity, intellectual, health, financial, and other related information can be viewed, stolen, or used by an unauthorized user. Okay, so therefore we have the remediations for the same. The remediations are, analyze data protection during design and runtime. Organizations must restrict access to data and maintain adherence to industry standards and compliance. Implementation of strong API access control. The environment and infrastructure should be designed to restrict access and monitor traffic. Organizations must encrypt and protect data in transit. And lastly, we have implement backup and retention strategies. Okay. Then we have the next threat, which is insufficient identity, credential, and access management. So see, security threats may occur due to inadequate protection of the credentials. An unauthorized user might read, modify, and delete data or release a malicious software. Okay, so we have the proper remediations for the same. First is security awareness should be provided to contractors, third-party users, and employees. Use of two-factor authentication should be implemented to secure accounts. Organizations must identify and access rights to detect violations. Segregate accounts based on business needs. The data owner should restrict the internal corporate or customer, that is the tenant, user account credentials. Next, we have insecure interfaces and APIs. So we have already discussed about this earlier. Well, cloud security providers expose a set of software user interfaces or application programming interfaces that organizations use to manage and interact with the cloud server. Okay. Moreover, customers and third-party users often, offer services to their customers through these interfaces. So an unauthorized user may access and reuse these APIs or passwords. Okay, they may transmit content, get authorizations, and logging capabilities. So therefore, we must try out some remediations, such as using a good security model of software interfaces, practicing strong authentication methods and limit access with encrypted transmission, and lastly, using standard API frameworks. Then on 4, we have system vulnerability. So security breaches may occur due to exploitable bugs in your programs that stay within a system. Okay, so this allows a bad a bad user, an unauthorized user, to infiltrate and get access to the sensitive information or crash the service operations. Okay, so therefore we can try out the following remediations. First is customer access grants must be implemented using a need to know, need to access protocol. Organizations must regularly detect data assessments and system disclosure alterations and destruction. Privileges should be separated between business as usual systems, systems level access and as credential access for sensitive root or system accounts. Lastly, frequent check of quality and integrity of system as well as services. Next, we come to the fifth, which is account or service hijacking using stolen passwords. Okay, so see, account or service hijacking can be done to gain access and abuse highly privileged accounts. Okay, so attack methods like fraud, phishing, and exploitation of software vulnerability are carried out mostly using the stolen passwords. The remediations are: use strong two-factor authentication techniques where possible. The organization needs to take proper steps to verify identity, restrict access, and maintain adherence to industry standards and compliance. Sixth, we have malicious insider. Well, who is a malicious insider? See, you know, a malicious insider is one who can get access to the sensitive data, okay, of the system administrator, or may even get control over the cloud services at greater levels with little or no risk of detection at all. A malicious insider may affect an organization through damage, financial impact, and productivity loss. Okay, so therefore, the remediations that needs to be taken are: organizations must understand the practices performed by the cloud providers, how to grant access to employees, and set compliance policies. There should be security and privacy awareness programs to understand, recognize, and report any suspicious activity. Organizations should automate their processes and use technologies that scan frequently for misconfigured resources and remediate unknown activity in real time. Next, we have data loss. Okay, so the data loss threat occurs in cloud due to interaction with risk within the cloud or architectural characteristics of the cloud application. Okay, unauthorized parties may access data to delete or alter records of an organization. So remediations are: cloud service providers should provide adequate security controls to customers as well as specify backup and retention strategies to them using strong APIs for access control and encrypt security of data in transit. On 8, we have lack of due diligence. So most cloud providers develop a good strategy for due diligence when evaluating cloud technologies. Enterprises that choose providers without analyzing the technologies and the diligence expose themselves to the risks. So here we have some remediations. Organizations must know what certifications the cloud provider itself has in place. Clear protocols must be defined related to accountability and responsibility of management, support, and involvement using strong passwords with multi-factor authentication tokens. Next, we have abuse and nefarious use of cloud services. So basically, this threat refers to the attackers, who are trying to, leverage the resources of the cloud computing to target the users, enterprises, and other cloud providers. For example, including, launching the DDoS attacks, phishing, email spams, get access to credential databases, and many more. Okay, so the remediations for the same are: organizations must use strong IDS, IPS systems. Next, we have organizations must use firewalls that can inspect incoming and outgoing traffic. Then we have the integration of cloud services must not be left up to individuals, groups of implementation. Lastly, an organization must choose their storage vendors wisely. So the process must be, corporate IT or secure team only. Lastly, we have the shared technology vulnerabilities. Well, cloud providers deliver their services by sharing applications or infrastructure. So sometimes the components that make up the infrastructure for cloud technology as a service offering are not designed to offer strong isolation properties for multi-tenant cloud service. So this may lead to uh, vulnerabilities in shared technology that can be attacked in almost all the delivery models. So accordingly, the remediations are: sensitive data should be protected via encryption. Data should be segmented and protected according to sensitivity levels. Organizations must conduct vulnerability scanning and configuration audits regularly. So lastly, I would like to conclude saying that, the rise of cloud computing as an evolving technology brings with it, many concerns for every business on cloud security threats. So moving critical applications and data to the cloud does not make them more secure, and cloud providers should not be, just blamed here. Okay, so organizations must outline a good, what you say, I'm not getting the word, a good roadmap for evaluation of cloud technologies and service providers. Plus, the IT and the security teams within an organization must design corrective controls such as disaster recovery plan, uh, including regular system updates, providing security awareness trainings, penetration testing, etc. Okay, so this is all for today.